A few years ago, when COVID was peaking, Sovereign Citizen Mark Schmitter decided to strut his sovereign stuff by performing a sit-in at Jason's Deli in Orlando, Florida, refusing to wear a mask and refusing to leave. The police were called. Today, we take you from the arrest encounter through his unique arraignment.
Okay. Well, sir, I just spoke with the manager there.
Right.
And she's a little upset because they have some rules around this place.
Yeah, it's their policy. Could I have your name and badge number?
Sure, I can get you my card when we're done here.
That's even better.
Yeah, I'll have you. You're right.
But anyhow, it's Officer
Overall.
And Rodriguez.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, have a seat. Go ahead.
Hold on. They've asked you to leave.
They demanded I leave.
Right. Are you going to leave?
No.
You understand that's a crime in the state of Florida. You'd be arrested for that.
No. They have to, first of all, issue a no trespassing order
That's
on me.
the warning right there.
That is a warning.
That's
they have to do that first.
They've just...
Us being here and telling you to leave, that's your warning. If you don't leave, then you can...
Well, that's not what the statute says. Statute says they have to issue a warning.
What's your first name?
I'd rather not give my name.
I'm just... What do you want me to call you?
Call me Honey.
Okay. Sir.
Well, honey, gee, that's an unappealing thought. You should have read I Do Not Consent, all about public versus private places and trespassing and pretty much everything you're so misinformed about. I Do Not Consent. One YouTube fan described it as all about wannabe lawyer loons and their laughable logic. Helen's copy arrives today. To order yours, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. And while you're clicking, please click the like button, please leave a comment, and please, oh, please click subscribe.
I don't want there to be an issue, okay?
Yeah, neither do I.
I'm trying to avoid that.
You're doing everything right.
Let me tell you this. They have every right to tell you to leave.
Only if I do something wrong.
Negative. They have every right to tell you to leave.
What statute you going by?
I'm not
private property, sir.
Oh, well, okay.
So for example, if you don't want somebody at your house, that's your property. Right?
That's exactly right.
You can tell them to leave for whatever reason, right?
That's exactly
they
right.
They have the same right to do that. Okay?
Yeah, well, they do and they don't, because when they open that, now let me finish. You're being a gentleman, okay? Now, when you open that front door, it becomes a public accommodation as per section 760.808 of the Florida Constitution and also Title 18, section 242 of Civil Rights, federal.
You're correct. But if you read that thoroughly, there's two different parts of that. There's something that's called public forum, okay? And one that's public property. So for you to be out there, considered private property, but this is open to the public, okay, which is a public forum.
Public accommodation.
That is correct, but it's still private property. Okay,
yes,
it is open to the public, but it's private property. So,
I'm agreeing with you.
So they do have the right to tell you to leave. Yes.
Well, they always have. Well, they really don't. No, because once they open the front door, we're going around in a circle. Okay, but could you just show me that part you were talking about?
No, hold on.
No. Okay.
I've been polite.
Yes, you
and now
have.
I've been as polite as I can.
Yes,
okay?
you have. Yes, you have.
As far as I'm concerned,
Is your body camera working?
It is going. Yep.
Thank you.
I can get you everything, all the documentation, whatever you want.
You're
okay?
more than a gentleman.
Okay. I'm trying to avoid taking you to jail. And I'm done giving you the opportunity. I'm telling you what's happening now.
So,
Hold on. I'll tell you when it's time to talk.
Okay.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
She has asked you to leave and you have refused. That's what she's telling me. She's right. Hold on.
She demanded.
Hold on.
Demand.
Perfect. Even better.
Term.
Even better. Demanded you to leave and you refused. That's called a crime. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. I can see you're about to... Hold on. I need your driver's license right now.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get you a trespass warning. I'll get it all on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But if you don't leave right after that, you're going to jail. You understand?
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
You have your ID on you?
No, I never carry ID.
Okay. I need your name and date of birth then.
I don't have to give you my name or date of birth.
Now hold on. I have every legal right to demand it, and if you refuse, you're going to jail.
Okay.
How do you want that to go?
Okay. Well, let me ask a question, may I?
Absolutely.
Okay. If I don't have to give you my identification unless I've committed a crime, going to commit a crime, or I'm subject in a crime.
Which you're currently doing right now by not leaving.
But you see, I haven't committed a crime.
We're about to commit a crime.
Sir, I'm trying to avoid taking you to jail.
I heard that. Okay.
My patience is running thin. If you're not going to give me your name and date of birth, you're going to go to jail. Is that worth it to you?
I thought you were going to trespass me first.
I have the legal right to demand your identification, your name and date of birth. If you don't give me that, you're going to jail. Okay. I'm trying to help you out.
Okay, listen, I'm going to go ahead and leave, okay?
Well, we're not done here.
Oh, okay.
I have every legal right to demand you to identify yourself.
Yeah?
If you refuse, that's also a crime. I have now notified you of this, and you are required to do it.
Uh-huh.
Is this the hill you want to die on, man? You know?
Yeah, okay, but I have to ask a question. I've read that statute pretty thoroughly.
Okay.
And it says I don't have to give you idea unless I've done a crime, committed a crime, going to commit a crime, which I haven't. I haven't committed a crime
You
yet.
have though, and we're actually being extremely lenient.
Well, yeah, but let me.
We're being extremely lenient with you because the person already asked you to leave, right? That was your warning.
She demanded I leave.
Correct. Which that was your warning, right? Now we came and we're asking you to leave,
dude,
and you still.
I'm trying to help you.
I know you are.
I'm trying to help you.
Technically, right now we have probable cause to arrest you, but we're not doing that. Okay, so please. Just
okay, they have refunded you for your money. They didn't have to do that. They're being nice to you.
Yeah, okay. But let me just I'm going to leave, all right? So you don't have to go through all this trail. But let me define this as much as I can before I leave, all right?
We're not going until you identify yourself.
Okay. So what you're telling me, as I understand, is, where was I? I haven't committed a crime. I'm not about to commit a crime, and also I'm not suspect in a crime.
Well, I just explained to you that you actually have. It's trespass after warning.
Yeah, I know, but she hasn't trespassed me yet.
That's not how it works, sir. I recommend if listen, okay? I recommend just for you to identify yourself to this officer. Yeah. And then I could give you the statute and you could look it up, okay? And you could actually read through it thoroughly. Okay, because there's a lot of subsections in there, which it might be a little confusing. Okay, but I can tell you right now, this is private property. Yeah. She's already asked you to leave.
I'm not fighting you here. I'm just.
I'm not. No, we're not.
I know. Listen, sir. Listen, sir.
You're not really
I'm pulling my pad out. I'm going to ask you one more time. Okay. Before you start telling us all about your law knowledge, I'm going to ask for your name and date of birth. If you do not, when I click my pen, and if you do not tell me, you're going to jail. Is that worth it?
I got another question, may I?
What is your name?
How do you know if I'm giving you the right one? Okay, wait a minute. I got another question.
Oh, I'm done.
Florida Statute 870. Don't. Look, I'm not resisting, goddammit. Come on, I'm not resisting. I'm a fat old man. You think I'm gonna fight you two guys? Give you every opportunity. Honey, would you get my cell phone here? Those are too tight. What am I gonna do? Fight you two guys? You'd kill me.
Give you every opportunity.
I also don't know your phone number. You gotta go bail me out of jail.
I don't know. I don't have a bail money. Don't be
No, it's in my desk drawer. There's plenty of bail money there.
Okay, sir. No. Loading. Please state your name. What? Please state your name. What name?
Okay.
Your name?
My name is Mark Schmitter.
Oh, Mr. Schmitter, here with us.
I'm here about typo appearance. And what I do here is the electoral appearance and it's reviewed with a natural person. With my name locally and properly spelled in the upper and lowercase letters.
All right. Well, on your birth certificate it said Mark Edward Schmitter, right?
Yeah, that's in capital letters and that's a problem.
Have you legally changed your name with the courts?
No.
Okay, then you're still Mark Schmitter for the court. Except, sir, you're with us for a trespass punishable for maximum 60 days in jail. An existing officer without violence, called for up to 1 year in jail. And state, is there an offer to this gentleman here?
Yep. Also, Your Honor, may I report this hearing?
May you record it?
Yeah, where's my cell phone?
It is recorded, but
I know, but I gotta pay money for that.
you have to look at that. Sure, I'll let you record the hearing.
Thank you. It's gracious. And also, can I get my,
Before you start talking, you might want to start the recording and then choose the
Thank you. Go from there. I had put off. It's, well, I can answer these questions. Could I get my $1,000 bail back? I'm not the type of person that's going to plea. Nope. Okay. And can I remove my mask to keep me from breathing?
You can't breathe?
No, it slows down. I go get enough oxygen.
You have the doctor's note?
No.
Well, what doctor told you that?
I told myself that because I measured the oxygen on the inside of.
But you haven't been to a doctor?
Say again?
You keep your mask below your nose. That's cool.
Okay. But it also violates my civil rights.
Really, cousin.
It violates my religion.
Really, cousin, for that, you just making things up as you go along.
No, I'm not making it up. But if I can't see about somebody, I don't.
What's your religion?
Okay.
What's your religion?
Say again?
What is your religion?
It's a private religion.
What is it? It's got to have a name.
Just a personal.
Or you made up your own religion?
Yep.
Okay, well,
And also,
I'll hear more about that.
or the Constitution.
You don't know, you just make it up as you go along. I'm scamming. So, does your religion have a name?
No.
Does it have any kind of a book associated with it? Everyone that you wrote. I know that you got stuff off the internet to ask so they could try and get out of this. None of that works. Okay? You are part of our country. You're a part of our county. If you don't like that, if you don't want to pay taxes, or you don't want to, abide by the rules, then unfortunately, you'd have to stay home and go nowhere. The sidewalks and the streets, the public fire. So, let's see what the state wants to offer. Counsel, is there an offer to Mr. Schmitter today?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer would be a withhold of adjudication, 6 months of supervised probation, 20 hours of community service, and a letter of apology to the police officer.
Mr. Schmitter, you've had 3 choices today. You can decide whichever one that is in your best interest. Option number 1, he's not guilty. I will give you an attorney if you can't afford one. The worst that could happen if you go to trial and a jury convicts you of the trespass will be 60 days in jail and a $500 fine. The worst that could happen if the jury convicts you of resisting an officer without violence, which means an officer asked you to do something in his lawful duties and you refused, would be 1 year of jail plus a $1,000 fine plus for court costs. So the very worst that could happen in this case would be 14 months of jail and $15 heavy. That's option number 1. I'll give you a lawyer, he can have a trial. Option number 2, the state has made it off. No conviction for either of these charges. You have to be on probation and report every month for 6 months. You have to do 20 hours of community service. You have to write a letter, and you will write $263. That is option number 2. I'm going to give you a third option from me, today only. You pay $263, you write a letter, and you're all done. No probation, no jail, no community service. What option would you like today?
I have a few questions to the court.
That's the easy you.
Could you tell me, is this a civil action or a criminal action? Before I answer this question.
It's a crime.
Is it criminal?
Yes, sir. That's why you're in this courthouse and not in the civil courthouse. The civil courthouse is down by the air.
And you haven't asked me about, do I understand the charges yet?
No, I haven't asked you anything. I just want to know which option you like.
No, I just need to court.
You want to try? Okay. Yeah, the offer is now gone. There will be no offer other than whether jail or probation in all likelihood. So, can you afford a private attorney, or would you like a public defender?
Either I'll defend myself.
I'm not going to let you defend yourself. So, can you afford a private attorney, or would you like a public defender?
Your Honor, I make a motion in this case for it to be dismissed. Wait a minute. Give me a second.
Sure, take your time.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor, but I don't think that you would be violating your oath of office if you did your duty under the Constitution. You see, I am not seeking legal advice. What I want to know is legal intent. I have the right to appear as myself in my own person without a licensed attorney or in order to intelligently defend myself. I get to know the rules of jurisdiction that this court will be operating under because of the rules of criminal procedure of common law jurisdiction are vastly different than the other laws.
Hands out.
So, have you ever been for law school?
No,
Have you ever practiced law?
no,
Have you ever handled a trial?
yes.
When?
I was here about 4 years ago.
4 years?
4 years ago.
4 years. When you had a tryout?
That's being, I'm trying to remember what. Yes, we did.
You had a trial.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to remember what the circumstances were.
I can do that.
Yeah, oh, I know what it was. Yes, I didn't have a driver's license on me.
It was a criminal trial. Yeah, you did have a criminal trial.
I think he may also have had a criminal charge in Brevard County.
Oh,
It was their trial. You
was dismissed.
never went to trial. Was it? See, it never.
Board's pre-banners.
So, Mr. Schmitter, it never handled a trial. Have you ever picked a juror?
Nope.
Have you ever cross-examined a police officer under oath?
Yep.
Have you ever cross-examined a non-police officer under oath?
Nope.
Have you ever given an opening statement in a court of law in front of a jury?
Not prior recall.
And how much schooling do you have?
Some college.
Graduate college?
Say yeah?
Did you graduate college?
No.
I do not find that you are qualified to represent yourself. So I'm going to appoint a public defender east as a standby attorney to assist you in any trial that you might have.
Oh, you're objected to that.
Reject all you want.
Because the Sixth Amendment grants me the right to jurisdiction and also to defend myself.
No, it does not give you the right to defend yourself if the court finds that you are not capable of defending yourself. And I find you are not capable of defending yourself.
Wouldn't that be at my forensic hearing?
I just gave you a forensic hearing.
I like that motion to have a forensic hearing.
We just had to. We can have more impeachment. Are you still looking on the internet for fun things?
No, but I study law
When did you study law?
for the last 10 years.
Where?
Just here in Orange County.
You studied in Orange County under who?
Just somebody else.
Just look things up.
Wait a minute. I'll just explain this to you in make more sense. I did 109 days in jail due to voluntary, which I looked up. And that was for the fight is, it was for not being in a free speech zone.
I remember that.
And also,
You defended yourself?
no, I got a lawyer. And he did a miserable job.
Well, yeah, wonderful lawyers here, but I'm sorry the lawyer was not up to your standards down in Orange County. But I'm going to find that you are not qualified to represent yourself on this matter, especially since there's a 14-month jail sentence that you're facing. And so I will see you back, since we're going to plead not guilty, correct?
No, I'd like to know what the charges are.
All right, the charges are a trespass in a structure or conveyance consisting of a refusal to depart Jason Deli, punishable up to 60 days in jail, which occurred allegedly on February 15th of this year, and the charge of, as I explained earlier, resisting an officer without violence, which also allegedly occurred October 15th of this year. What else can I answer for you?
I don't understand the nature of the cause of the charges.
Well, your attorney will be happy to explain.
I don't want to be sorry.
I just explained it to you.
I can't.
Check to what?
But you're practicing law from the bench.
I'm not practicing anything for the bench. I'll explain the charges to you, which I did.
Well, I know that you did, but I don't understand the charges.
What part doesn't understand?
They just don't make sense.
What part doesn't make sense? Which one?
Well, I mean, are we going to try the case right now, or are we going to go? Well,
We're asking you to, you're telling me you don't understand it, and then you're saying if I explain it to you that we're going to court at the moment. So which is it? What do you want me to do?
well,
You want me to dismiss the charges? That's not going to happen. So what else would you like to have done for that?
if Your Honor, because you're entering a plea.
I'm not under your plea. No.
No,
You have to plea, not me.
okay, about that. But when it comes to the charges, is there an affidavit that comes charges?
Yes, most likely.
Okay, well,
It's an arrest report that's sworn to,
okay,
and you
I-
should have received a copy.
say it again.
You should have received a copy of it. If not, it's in the court file and you can get a copy. What else can I answer for you?
Well, what I don't understand is, well, one thing I want to know is, Your Honor, you said this is criminal action,
I told you.
okay? If it's a criminal action, are we going under the, I would like to know what jurisdiction we are under.
Me?
Yeah, well, definitely you.
State of Florida.
Okay, so we're under civil, we're under a criminal action from the state of Florida.
It's correct. This is a Florida law.
Well,
Actually, it's what?
criminal doesn't it do up to constitutional law then? As described in Article 1, Section 8, Clause 17 of the Constitution.
Which constitution?
Well, there's a question, the one that's in this book.
Which constitution do you want me to reference?
Well, there's two. One would be the Florida Constitution and the U.S. Constitution.
I'm aware of that. Which one would you like me to reference?
Are they both in effect here?
That is correct.
Okay, but once you make it criminal, does it move up to the U.S. Constitution grants this court of two different criminal jurisdictions. Are you aware of that now?
Did you want?
Okay. It grants two different criminal jurisdiction. One is a criminal jurisdiction under federal law. The other one is criminal jurisdiction under animal fee or military tribunal. That is Article 1, Section 8, also in the Constitution. In which of these two criminal jurisdictions does this court intend to try you?
Florida statutes.
Florida statutes. All right, well, now I make a motion, Your Honor. You can't have Florida because you work for Florida, and so does the prosecuting attorney, so that's a conflict of interest.
You know, I'm not on the side of the state's water.
Okay, give me notice that. Let's read. Okay, so you intend to conduct a criminal action against me under statutory jurisdiction, but Your Honor, that raises another question. And I had never heard of such a thing as criminal action under statutory jurisdiction, and there's no such jurisdiction as established in the Constitution. I would be happy to accept your art if you can please tell me where I can find the published rules of criminal procedure under statutory jurisdiction and where that the HR calls the jurisdiction information exists. It is imperative that I have a published rules of procedure so that I may conduct a fair defense of my fair trial.
Well, you're not defending yourself on point.
Or back to that.
But the Florida rules of criminal procedure, as promulgated by the Florida Supreme Court, are available online. Or in the law library, and there is a law library giving seminal
And what's the title there?
Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure.
Okay.
And there's also a Florida Evidence Code, which is found in section 90 and before the statutes.
So you're saying there is statutory jurisdiction and published rules?
Also, that you're welcome to read and use.
Okay, so you're going to assign your lawyer, like it or not?
I'm going to assign a lawyer to at least assist you.
Assist me. Could you define where it sits?
No.
No. Okay.
You know the word. You know the meaning of the
We
word.
have to legalese, lawyer made too money language and all the
Well,
other.
in language of the word assist, that's
Okay.
how it is going to be upheld.
Your Honor, for the record, if he wants no attorney, I understand he wants no attorney. I will represent him if you appoint me. However, if he decides to not want to appoint an attorney, I would object to an attorney being present also. I'm not sure what I could do with this.
Nope. Understood. I'm going to order a standby attorney because I don't want any health problem.
Understood, Your Honor.
So, just for the record here,
For the record, you could pay $262 and be all done, or you can go through this every time you're in the courtroom.
yes.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Up to you. Okay, what other questions do you have?
Over there.
Okay.
So, so you're saying we're going under Florida statutory laws, right?
But these are statutes.
Statutes. Okay, so can I get a motions here, Bill? We have motions for sometime. Do I just follow your office instead of oh yeah, I did the last time.
You go on the JAC system, JAC for Seminole County. You find a slot that's open for any time, and then you can pick a slot.
Yeah. Now, just for the record, almost this right here where it says Mark Edward Schmitter, that's not my real name.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If you immediately change it, it's your real name.
All right. I guess I know first. Like,
All right. Sir, are you going to plead no contest, or are you going to plead not guilty?
oh,
That's the purpose of...
well, Your Honor, I can't make it plea what you understand the charges.
You can plead not guilty because you don't understand the charge.
Say again. I can't hear sometimes. Well,
Oh, okay. The charge is that you refused to leave Jason's Deli.
yeah, I understand that.
And the manager asked you to leave.
Okay.
That's a charge.
Yeah, I should do.
Not plead not guilty, or do you plead no contest?
I cannot make a plea because I still don't understand the charge.
What part do you understand?
Well, this is, well, I don't want to try the case here.
No, then you have to enter a plea.
No, I don't have to enter a plea.
Now, I can hold you in contempt and send you to jail if you want.
Only I can cap, well, if I don't understand the
I
charge.
understand that Belvin Perry might have done that to you, too. So,
No,
if you get a lawyer this route, I'm willing to go this route, Mr. Schmitter. I am.
okay. But you
But the reason for today is you have to enter into a plea. I don't care how you plead. You can plead not guilty. You can plead no contest. You can plead guilty. But you understand the charge. The charge was the manager of Jason's Deli asked you to do something. You refused. That's okay. You can refuse to do things in life. At that point, the manager asked you to leave private property, not a government building, not a public space. He asked you to leave private property, which he was allowed to control. You allegedly refused to leave. So that's called a trespass. Do you believe that you trespassed on that day?
I don't understand the charges. They don't make sense.
Do you believe that you continued to stand there in Jason's Deli after he ordered me to leave.
Well, it's a she, but that doesn't make any difference. I asked her to call the police because she physically was battering me, fighting for this house.
Okay, well, then maybe you might have a civil action against her for a batter, or you can talk to the state attorney's office about a batter. But do you deny that you refuse to leave? Or do you admit that you refuse to leave? Or do you want to plead not guilty to the whole thing?
Well, I'll tell you what it is. I asked the officer if it's issued me a no trespass warning, and I walk out of here, and I did it twice, so I got a video of it. So does he.
Okay, but they don't have to do that. They can do that as a courtesy, but they can trespass you and say it's a crime.
And also, the officer said, if you don't identify yourself, I'm going to cuff you and take you away. And that was what the charge was.
Yeah, because you have to identify yourself to a law enforcement officer. So there's other ways they got to know who you are, or whether there might be warrants out for you, or whether you might be.
Well, but the problem was I didn't commit a crime.
Well, they're still allowed to ask you your name, and maybe you did commit a crime. So I'm going to assume you do not want to admit these things, correct?
I don't understand the charges. I can't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you understand the trespass was you were asked to leave, and you refused. That's called a trespass. So, do you plead not guilty to that, or would you like to plead no contest?
I can't make a plea.
Yes, you can.
If I don't understand the charges, I can't make a plea.
But you do understand it.
No, I don't. They don't make sense.
What part doesn't understand?
She initiated this supposedly over the mask rule, but there's no law that says you got to wear a mask.
Doesn't matter if there's a law or not. When you're on private property, if you invite me to your house.
That's different.
No, it's not. It's private property.
Yeah, but that was a public accommodation.
It's not a public accommodation. Jason's Deli is not a public accommodation. It's a private industry. Private.
Yes, but their law, their policy.
I'm going to make this really. Are you refusing to enter a plea today, no matter what I tell you?
Well, is there?
No.
I'm asking the question, sir. You're in jail.
No, this is a yes or no question. I've given you a lot of opportunity to ask me questions. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you going to refuse to enter a plea, regardless of what I tell you today, because you are a sovereign citizen?
No, I'm not a sovereign citizen.
Are you going to refuse to enter a plea today, regardless of what I thought?
I'm refusing to enter. Wait a minute, let me finish the sentence. I'm refusing to enter a plea because I do not understand the charges. However, you threatened jail on me, we might go make a plea, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and what would that, what statute would I violate on that?
You violated my asking you a reasonable question.
Okay.
That you are refusing to do what you knew was going to be required when you showed up to. So, you've been through this route before. It's
No.
not your first time.
No, this is the first mail.
It's not our first time you've been charged with a crime. So,
Yeah, so under the threat of jail,
albeit to a writing talk.
Okay.
You've been to an arraignment before at least once, maybe more than once. So you know what an arraignment might be. So, you have two options today. The first option is, I will answer any question you want about the charges, but you will then enter some kind of plea, whichever plea you want.
okay, and if I don't enter the plea,
If you refuse to enter a plea today, no matter what I do, I'm going to remand you to jail.
remain in jail, how long would that be?
But
Your Honor, may I please speak to him real quick and go over a quick statement with Mr. Schmitter while you handle the other gentleman who's waiting? Can I have 2 minutes, Mr. Schmitter?
ma'am,
Thank you.
I don't think he's willing to talk to you.
Would you be willing to talk to me for a few minutes? Sure. Please stay aboard with me for a second.
We are here today.
And who would be by, at least people, one of them, you're with public.
Yes, I am.
Thunder, that's the assistant state attorney. The deputies over there.
I don't know. I can't tell because of your mask.
Well,
We're not allowed to check it out. Yeah, there. Fine. All right.
thank you, Mr. Schmitter. And for the plea chart.
Okay,
Okay, let me just announce, we're back on the record for 2021 MN 492. I don't know if we're still recording, but you're welcome to turn on the recorder again, Mr. Schmitter. And so, what would you like to do as far as today's requirement and sometime plea, not
Okay.
passion, no contest.
Under duress and under threat of jail, I'll make a plea of not guilty.
And so I'm going to set your case for April the 15th. And I will read you your option here. Would it be more convenient for you to come back in the morning? Is it easier to get in the mornings or in the afternoon?
The mornings. Is this for the 13th or what?
April 15th.
Yeah, okay, morning.
April 15th, I'll set a free trial rate case for 10:30 a.m. And I will see you back then. You both can be able to go there and get your paperwork. Thank you very much.
Your Honor, are you appointing the public defender's office provisionally?
As a stand-on, that's it. He doesn't work a public defender at this point.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Big shame. Now look.
What paper all done?
Yep.